Welcome to Woman2Woman Today, where we're having intimate conversations with inspiring women while doing fun projects that will teach us something new. I'm your host, Jen Maseda, and we want this show to be a bright spot in your lives. If you've ever found yourself in an intimidating situation like a job interview or a cocktail party and your thoughts, your voice, your confidence has disappeared, then you have got to keep watching this show. With us today is Sarah Whitten, a 500-hour certified yoga instructor and a classically trained singer. She holds a master's degree in vocal pedagogy and master's degree in vocal performance, both from Ohio State University. Sarah travels around the world and around the country presenting at workshops, conferences, schools, and works one-on-one with professionals and others, helping them find their one voice. Welcome, Sarah. Thank you for joining us on Woman2Woman Today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So tell us about the voice. How do you define voice?
I would say that in broad terms, your voice is how you express your truth. There's both the literal voice of how you speak, how you sound, and what you say, and then your figurative voice, which is how you express yourself creatively, personally, and professionally.
And when does that typically start? Does it evolve over time? Are you born with it?
I believe we're all born with one voice that can be the same across, all parts of your life. But for most of us, it's an ongoing evolution as throughout our entire lives.
And how do you find it? How do you find that one voice?
How you live.
Exactly.
Right? You encounter those major life transitions and you have to get quiet and learn to listen to your inner voice of wisdom and figure out how you navigate that, where you want to end up, and how you can better communicate your truth the next opportunity that you have.
And so experiences are giving you information, but what kinds of questions should we maybe be asking ourselves?
I think actually the better thing to do is to tap into how you feel. That if we can get quiet, so our thinking minds are loud, they'll sort of yell at us and try to drive us down fear and those sorts of places. But if you get quiet and you can really hear, we talk about going with your gut. That's what we want to do. We want to feel how something makes our body react, and that's your litmus test. That's how you know if you're going to do the right thing or the wrong thing.
And, this show is obviously about women, and it's for women, made by women. And not to be stereotypical, but do women often ignore that voice that's trying to give them information or trying to guide them? Is that typical of women, playing that negative role all the time? And what's your experience?
I do think that we are very conditioned to not speak our truth. We don't have a great history in our world, in our country, of wanting to hear what women have to say. I think that popular images in the media and just the messages that we receive that, we should be seen and not heard, essentially. So I think there's sort of more for women to overcome, particularly when you try to factor in being professional and being a mom, and there's just a lot to weave together, and I think that there's really valuable work for women to do in defining their voice.
So tell us about the concept that you have created through time and through your own experiences, that now you're sharing workshops and you're doing these one-on-one counseling and assisting. How did that come about for you?
It really began for me, I think, in graduate school, where I discovered yoga. And I went to a class, and I came home in the middle of the morning, and I was exhausted, I thought. And I sat on my couch, and I remember thinking, how am I going to go to my voice lesson? I can't sing now. And I went, and it was effortless. It was the easiest thing I had done. And my teacher was like, what did you do before this? Come back and do more of that,
again.
Please. And what I realized after was that I experienced relaxation in a way that I never had. And I was really connected in to my body and my breath, and my mind was quiet. So that was really the genesis for me, and it just sort of grew from there. After I had spent time performing and traveling, I settled into teaching. And what I found there was that the people that came to my studio had the same issues that I had of, their breathing was a little off and their mind was really busy and they had some tension in their neck and shoulders. And I started bringing more yoga in to sort of complement the voice science that I knew. And it just sort of evolved out of that. And as I passed through my major life transitions, I sort of turned my own teachings on myself and grew even more from that.
And they worked. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't beat
Yeah.
that. Your own success, and then being able to share that story.
Yeah.
Now, you said that you were a classically trained singer, but did you do that when you first started out in school?
No, I actually went to college as an English major. I had always sung, and I was that kid in high school who had the lead in the musical, but I had no idea what to do with that. And so I love to read and I love to write, and so I majored in English. And it was when I got a desk job at a university that I started to think, wow, if this is what real life is like, I don't know that this is what I want to do. And because I was at a university, there was a music school, and I could go up the street at lunch and sing in the practice rooms, and I started taking voice lessons and classes, and I found something that challenged me, but also completely fulfilled me. And I knew that that was the right path.
Yeah, even though it was difficult, and even though it was something you really had to work at.
Yeah, it was risky. It was risky because there was no sort of defined, this is your progression. You don't leave graduate school with a job, the way you do in some other professions.
Sure. So tell us about the business side of things now. How did you develop this concept, and who is it that's coming and participating in your workshops especially?
Yeah, the coming together of everything really happened after having my second child. And I just sort of knew that I was done with a major phase of my life and moving into something else. And I knew I needed something that allowed me to live into my truth of wanting to be a very present parent. But I knew I had big aspirations as well. I wasn't interested in being a stay-at-home mom. It just wasn't the right fit for me. So I really started to put all of this together. I started working with a coach who helped me refine what it was that I wanted to do, and realized that the people that I could really help were mostly women like me who were in a category that I would call professional voice users. They are teachers, ministers, coaches, broadcasters, a whole spate of people who need their voice to succeed at their job.
Right.
And they often have those patterns of breathing, of tension, of performance anxiety. And that's what we work on.
Yeah. And is it only the voice in order to command attention? What else do they need in order to master that engagement of others?
Yeah, there's a whole sort of host of things that they need. It's about body language and how you present yourself. I would say mastering your voice is one part what you say, how you say it, and another part listening. You have to be able to listen without anticipating response or going on the defensive. You have to have a quiet mind to really hear what someone is saying, so that when you speak, you respond with compassion and you respond with your truth.
Yeah, with an authentic voice.
Absolutely.
That makes sense. Something else that you're doing for mothers, but really all women, because we all have pelvises. So what is this new? You'll understand what I'm saying in a minute. So what is this new workshop that everybody's talking about it? You have a waiting list to get involved in it. So share this workshop with our audience.
Yeah, so I developed a workshop called Restore Your Pelvic Floor.
I love
and
that.
It came out of my own experience post having my second child, of feeling like my body sort of fell apart. I had low back pain, my SI, my sacroiliac joint was kind of problematic. My upper back would get really tense after nursing and being hunched over. And there's always the dreaded sneeze pee, trampoline pee, however it happens. But I knew that my body wasn't meant to respond that way. We were meant to have children and thrive, and not be shopping in that aisle in CVS that has all of those products in it. So I delved in. I felt like I have the understanding of the body and anatomy and physiology from my yoga training, but I needed to go deeper. And so I started really researching and learning about biomechanics and alignment and understanding how I was moving and not moving and how that contributed.
Sure.
And I fixed myself so that I don't live with tension headaches and back pain and sneeze pee and all of those kinds of things. So I put a workshop together that helps other women, and it's been so successful that I'm now in the fall launching an ongoing class for people who really know they need every week to be in there doing the work.
Yeah. That's fantastic. And some of the workshops you also have online that people can access all across the country and around the world.
Yeah, I'm headed in that direction. I declared 2016 the year of the video, and so I started making small videos, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, that I send out to my mailing list every week of some way that you can move your body differently, mostly to help your voice function better, but also you get the benefit of your whole body working better. And I'm in the process of developing an online series of classes that people will be able to just take.
That's great. And you mentioned this earlier, that you had been doing yoga for some time when you were pregnant with your son, who's your second child. And these complications didn't happen with your first child, happened with your second child. And you said something that really resonated with me. You said, I felt as though this shouldn't have happened to me because you had put so much effort and so much, you had so much experience and knowledge, and so you knew that. I think that would really resonate with people because there's a fitness craze all the time. There are different theories, there are different great exercises to do, and different themes and fads, and really you can't give up because of trying. What was it before maybe that had helped this to happen, that you can't ignore your past life, essentially, is what you said to me?
Right. I was a runner my whole life, and I think in between, after having my first, I didn't have the strong yoga practice that I'd had before. I had a number of injuries from childhood on, and I had my second child when I was 38, and I think that our bodies have just changed from our lives of a lot of sitting and not moving. I felt like, how could this happen to me? I'm a yoga teacher. I should have the body that can withstand this. Right. So it was very humbling, but really ended up being a total blessing of opening a door for me to understand how the body functions in a new way.
That's right. Well, I'm sorry that happened, but we're all grateful that you came to the realization that you can really help so many other women because, again, as you said, whether you have a child or not, this is really essentially something that all women are going to be facing as they age. And I had my second at 38 too, so that's what happens. Yes. So I'll be joining that pelvic class very soon.
There's room.
Definitely will. Well, you're going to be in the second segment. You're going to share a bit of how we can strengthen and find our own voice and strengthen our breathing powers and breathing patterns, and so we appreciate that. You're going to stay with us. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, Sarah is going to give us some instruction and techniques to find our own voice in any situation. So keep watching.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Welcome back to Woman2Woman Today, where we inspire women to reach their goals and learn something new each show. I'm your host, Jen Maceda. We're here with Sarah Whitten, expert yoga instructor and classically trained vocal master. Sarah, share with us. What's your plan for teaching us about finding our one voice today?
So the first thing we're going to do is a meditation that I use to begin every session that I work with clients. And it walks you from the outer layers of your energy all the way in to connect you to that really deep sense of yourself that lives in your core.
Perfect. And share with us again who your clients are and what was the terminology that you used for people that use their voice.
Sure. So I refer to them as professional voice users. They're teachers, ministers, coaches, business people, podcasters, anyone who needs their voice to succeed at their job.
And engage others. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right. I'm ready.
Okay.
Be gentle.
Okay. So begin by closing your eyes.
Okay.
And just take a moment to settle in and feel your body in the chair.
Okay, so can we remind people really quickly? This is always uncomfortable for me to just relax my mind. So that's why I need to use it even more. But I just wanted to remind viewers that they can watch this segment in its totality and step by step follow along, listen along. We're going to do the pauses so that this is really something that all of us can take with us and do it daily, do it weekly. So now I promise I'm ready.
Absolutely. Okay. So eyes are closed. Just take a moment to settle in. And then bring your attention to any exposed skin, your face, your arms, your hands, or your legs. And just see if you can feel the air of the room against your skin. Now shift your attention to your clothing. Begin at your shoulders and scan down your body, seeing where you can feel your clothing against your skin. If you find a place where you can really sense the way that your dress touches your body, linger there and just notice how it feels. Now we're going to move another layer deeper, so bring your attention to your breath and see if as you breathe in through your nose, you can feel the coolness of the air as it passes through your nostrils. Now let's move another layer deeper. See if you can feel your heart beating in your chest. From the center of your heart, allow your awareness to expand outward, sensing the energy of your entire being in this room. And to end the meditation, you can take a full breath in through your nose, and as you exhale, open your eyes and come back into the space. So how was that?
That was beautiful. Yeah, that was really amazing. I don't think we give ourselves enough time to feel and silence.
Absolutely. There's not a lot of quiet in our lives.
No.
We're hooked up into devices. We've got children asking us for things. We have jobs that require things. We have households. Just taking 4 or 5 minutes to silence yourself and feel is so powerful.
Oh, I agree. And the way that you started from your exterior being inside, but then reminding us that the power and the sense of structure that surrounds us, we also are integrated with and also have, you know, that feeling of
Yeah, absolutely.
Of space.
Your energy is met by the energy of all the other people that you encounter, whether it's one-on-one or in a speaking situation, on stage or presenting or at a job interview, any of those places. You know, this is a great thing to do. Got a job interview? Take 4 minutes and collect yourself this way so that you're really presenting your best self.
Yeah. So I'm going to repeat this segment over and over just to practice it and to hear your voice, because your voice was incredibly soothing and very, I mean, you're a professional, so, you know, but the way that you were able to remind me in the beginning, when you said, you know, think about your skin and you're exposed and the air going over, and then you waited. I literally was like, when is this going to stop?
I know. And I should have told you at first, I don't need any external response from you. This is all about you feeling.
No, I figured
but it
that,
takes time to get there.
And I think that will take practice. That, like, am I done being quiet?
Yeah,
Am I ready to move on to the next stage?
It does for
that
everyone.
Takes practice. But what can somebody do? Because I'll watch this segment, but if I don't have a device, does somebody say that to themselves? Feel your skin, feel the clothing, feel your heart, feel your core, heartbeat.
Yeah,
That's what you do.
Yeah, once you've practiced it a few times, you can be washing dishes and pause. Just pause and feel. Feel your body in space. Feel your breath. Notice how you feel in that moment. It's incredibly powerful because we just don't ever do it.
Yeah, no, I agree. My husband Luis had read something some time back, and it was a reminder in the shower. It sounds strange, but to feel the water on your skin again brings you back to a quieting, and it's the start of your day, or maybe it's the end of your day, depending on when you take a shower, or maybe both. If you're from Miami, you use shower twice a day if you're Latin.
Right.
But you know that quietness and that peace. When we practice this, what comes to you? What are people listening for? Are they not? There's no purpose.
I think the purpose is learning to be present. It's not often that we are here in the space that we're in and not thinking about what we have to do, what we did yesterday, judging yourself for having those thoughts, worrying about something. So it's just about learning to quiet your mind and be present. Because when you're present, then you can speak your truth. Then you can listen to what's coming at you and not react.
Yeah. Have you always spoken the way that you speak? Maybe that's a personal question, but have you noticed that?
I probably have a little bit of teacher voice when I'm working, but yeah, I think because I had vocal training from so early on in my life that I've always had the same basic timbre to my sound.
But even in meeting you, I feel as though you have a sense of listening, and you are waiting to say the words that are purposeful and authentic.
Yeah.
And I think that's a gift. And hopefully, all of us can learn to do that through practice.
You absolutely can. Everybody has the potential.
So you mentioned that your children also participate in this. So tell us some things maybe we could do with our kids.
Yeah, there's a great meditation you can do called a rainbow meditation. And you have your child just lie on their bed and they choose their favorite color. And you run your hands sort of down one side of their body, imagining that you're painting outside their body with that color. Let's say you choose red. So you're painting red all down one side, you go under their feet, and you sort of are running your hands really lightly along their body, and then you can come down the front and you sort of have them imagine going up the back. And once they get to the top of the head, you have them take the color inside of their head. And then it's like they've got a crayon, and they color their entire body in with the color red all the way down to their toes. And the way that we do it in my house is that they choose a little mantra, and it's usually, I am safe, I am happy, I am loved. And they say that aloud, and then they sort of take a big breath in and let it out. That's a great one to do before bedtime.
Yeah.
You know, when they get tired and wired and they're ready to go.
Yeah.
It's like, we got to do the rainbow meditation.
Okay. Yeah, they're going to be doing that tonight.
Yeah.
That's great. What else are you going to show us?
Okay, so the other thing that's really key to getting your voice to function well is breathing.
Okay.
So if you bring your hands on either side of your lower rib cage, and again, I find that there's a lot of visual noise in the world, so I tend to close my eyes when I'm needing to feel. So feel free to close your eyes. If you can do it without, that's fine too. So breathing through your nose, see if you can feel your rib cage expanding into your hands. So we want to be breathing in all directions, or three-dimensionally, and one dimension is this side-to-side motion of our lower ribs. I find this is the one that often people are stuck because the back muscles of the rib cage are a little bit locked down. So then you can bring one hand onto the front, just about where you would get the wind knocked out of you if you got hit real hard, and then bring your other hand behind you onto your back rib cage. And breathe in again, and you want to feel front to back motion of the ribs. And then take the hand that's behind you and bring it up onto right where your sternum is, sort of in the upper part of the chest. And as you breathe in, see if you can feel how the ribs also move up and down. So very often when we are living in a constant state of stress, our breath responds to that stress, and we tend to breathe in a really high, shallow, fight or flight type of breath. And when you're doing that, you're activating the bundle of nerves between your shoulder blades that just keeps the cycle of stress going. So now let your hands come down. You can open your eyes. And you may notice that you feel a little different just from becoming aware of your breathing.
I can breathe better.
Yeah. And you can train that into your body too. We don't need to have a super active breath. Our body will breathe for us. It's an autonomic function to keep us alive. But when you consciously breathe, you gain that ability to be present, to make choices, and to do things in a really conscious, present way.
Right. That makes really good sense. So when I give presentations, I'm typically talking about something very emotional. People that are hungry, domestic violence, and I cry pretty much every time I give a speech because it's good in that I'm feeling it, and I feel it passionately and sincerely. It's not great when you're trying to express a message that people will remember as opposed to a blubbering woman on the stage. I want to look professional. I want to look as I'm in command of my emotions. And one of the things that I need to practice more, and that has helped me recently, is that command of breath and reminder to be present and continue to breathe, because you get all this shallow breathing, and you're nervous and you're tense. And
I always say, totally fine to breathe that way if you're running out of a burning building. Or a lion's chasing you, or a snarling dog. That's completely appropriate.
Yes, that makes sense.
But otherwise, you just don't really need it.
No.
It just perpetuates the cycle of stress.
Sure.
And our breath is the one thing that we can really control and train.
Sure.
So you have the ability to change your stress response. When you feel yourself starting to go down that path, it's like, 8 cycles of breath changes the wiring in your brain, and you have a different experience.
So 8 cycles, you mean going from the side breathing to the front and back to the high level?
Up and down. Yep.
That's great.
Yep.
Okay.
It sounds easier than it is, but it is possible.
It takes practice.
Yeah.
It just takes practice.
Absolutely.
Right. And then it becomes conditioned. It becomes, you don't have to think about it. Well, I mean, you're still thinking about it because you want to be present, but it's not as challenging to get yourself faster to maybe that.
You get the ability to get there in a quicker way, for sure.
That's fantastic. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Well, this is really unbelievable. I mean, honestly, you have changed all of our lives just by these simple techniques that who would have known to do this?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't until you learn it.
Exactly.
And then you do.
That's why we need to come and see you.
Right.
So how can people get in touch with you?
They can find me on my website.
Okay. What is
just www.sarahwhitten.com.
Okay.
And they can contact me there.
Okay. And we will. And we're going to sign up for that pelvic.
Right. You can sign up there as well.
Okay. Oh, good. All right. And you're also on Facebook.
Yep. I have a page
and
on
what's
Facebook too.
Just your name.
Yeah.
Not
you
just.
just do Sarah Whitten Voice in Yoga.
Okay.
And you'll find me there.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, big thanks to Sarah Whitten, instructor, presenter, blogger, all around unbelievable woman, for showing us techniques for freeing our voice and helping us find the courage to present our inner self in the most effective and successful way. Please remember to follow, like, and subscribe to Woman2Woman Today on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube so you don't miss a show. Thanks to the entire team at Access Framingham, especially Shavarsh and Francesca, who are with us at every show. And thanks also to Jess Briswell, our assistant producer, and Ryan McCabe, our art director. I'm Jen Maceda, your host of Woman2Woman Today. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time, where we hope to inspire you.